it little. No, down. Yeah, and the angle. It's like this, slanting.
Anu, that's such a cute picture. Look at you.
I remember taking that. I was crying. They made me. I remember that very well. See, my mom was holding my hand. She like, calm down. Yes.
Yeah. Namaste. Hare Krishna. So we are going to start with a little bhajan for 5 minutes, and then we are going to take an hour to talk few things for why we have gathered here. And first of all, thanks to Raghu and Anu and their family for inviting us over here for a very important occasion in the family life, in their life, which has been 1 year since Sri Premanand passed away, Anu's dear father. Do you mind taking this off? It's just coming right on my face. Thank you. So she requested me to make this more educational, so informative for the audience here. So that's what we are going to do. But before we get into the details of it, I'll just do a invocation prayer for a few minutes. If you like, you can join with me. But this is a prayer to on behalf of for the departed soul, Sri Premanand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You all can join me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanam Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Tadanti Swapadantikam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all for coming. So for next 1 hour, we will be talking about an important topic on what is life and what are we supposed to do, especially when it comes to situations which we didn't expect or we didn't want to happen, and especially as a children, what are we supposed to do? Children, what are supposed to do? Now, For this 1 hour, we are going to have, I've divided this whole presentation into 7 parts. So it's easy for you all to start counting so that you know when I'm going to end. You're not in a surprise. So it's not a untimely or a undefined lecture. It's going to be very under the control of yours, where 7 parts. The first part is based on the discussion, based on the event today, understanding what is birth and what is death. What does it mean? Sometimes people are very afraid to speak about death, but it's very interesting to know, not to be really worried or not to be very much afraid about death. We'll see how that is. So what is death? And the second part is what happens at the time of death. We all want to know what happens at the time of death. That's the second part of the presentation. Third is what travels after death. After someone dies, what goes with them? And then number 4 is how does the person departs the body, and where does it go? Where does we all familiar with the term called soul and atma. So how does it depart from the body, and where does it go? That is number 4. Number 5 is, and what decides our destination? We all have a certain destination. I came from my house over here. This became my destination. After the program, I have a different destination I have to go. Likewise, every one of us have a destination as we leave the body. So what is the destination? There are 3 different destinations that we go. What defines or what determines where we go? That's going to be the 5th topic. And the 6th topic is what happens after we reach there to the destination. What after that? What's life after that? And last part is going to be, as a children, what are we supposed to do for our departed parents? That's going to be the last one, which is going to be the important topic at the end. So are you all with me? Yes. So hopefully this helps you at the end to get an understanding of making your valuable time coming here to get some education of this 1 hour. So the first one is talks about, the first topic is death. So one thing that quite interesting that we need to know is about, we all plan everything in our life. Only one thing that we cannot plan is this one, about death. Right? Definitely we all plan of a retirement program, investment of whatever we need to do, insurance and so forth. But we never know when that the day is going to come. We plan everything. We may know, we may not know, or we may know that as a student we want to graduate. Right? We may have an idea, we may or may not know which college we are going to join, university we are going to join. We may or may not know whether we'll have a very good, nice, our heart desired spouse or not. We may or may not know whether we have a children of what we want. Sometimes some parents want just girls, some parents want boys, some parents want boys and girls, right? So we may or may not get what we want as a children. And we may or may not have a children who is obedient. Not necessarily. The children whom we desire to have may become a problem in our life also. We don't know, right? So we may not know about that also, or we may know to some extent. We may or may not know, what's going to happen after retirement, whether we are going to travel around the world and see different places, or we are going to stay in one place within the 4 walls because of our health reasons. We may or may not know. We may make some plans towards all these things that I just listed now. But there are some things can be certain. But one thing is very certain, that we all definitely don't know is the day of departure from our body. That none of us know, none of us can tell. In the history, there's one person who knows about it, but other than that, we don't see much about who knows when they are going to leave the body. The one who knows about when he wants to leave is Bhishma Pitama. He has the boon where he can decide when he wants to leave the body, right? So the world population currently as per the statistics, it says 8 billion, the world population. We all know this 8 billion number that we have right now. After 100 years, 125 years, even the child who's born just now, where in BJC or wherever the child was born, even now in this moment, we know very well, after 100 years or 125 years maximum, you say, even just say, keep for the sake of argument, 200 years. After 200 years, that child who's born today is not going to be there. We all know that. We all know that. So it's certain, one thing is very certain, we sign up for many things in our life. We take a job, we sign agreement to the job that I come to the job and I follow certain things. You sign up building a house, you contract, you make a contract. Yeah, for anything there's a contract, there's a paperwork that we got to do. Likewise, we all signed a contract when we took birth on this earth. That contract is, definitely I'll leave this world. We remember, we may not remember, we may remember. Mostly we don't remember the sign because we didn't go to a title company and do all this contract. But this is the unspoken contract that we have all written. That is, we agreed that we come to this world and we are going to leave this world. We are going to depart this world. So every given second, you can go and search it in the internet. Every given second, 2 of them are dying in the world. Every given second. I just spoke the second at least 3-4 times. Then you can just calculate, at least 10 people have already died in the world, right? So that's how the thing is. The very thought of death, it just freezes our spinal cord. If you think about it, it will freeze. It will definitely freeze our spinal cord when you think about it, especially when especially when it happens to the most dear and loved ones, right? Therefore, in the Mahabharata, there is a section where the sloka, there's a ahani ahani bhutani gacchantihi yamalayam sheshaga stavaram icchanti kim acharyam ataha param. It is said that ahani ahani bhutani gacchantihi yamalayam means every given second, people are rushing towards a place called Yamalaya. Yamalaya means a place of death. Every given second, people are rushing toward a place of death, Yamalayam. But then right? But who's thinking, what we are thinking is, no, I still have some time to go. I will have a lot of time. So the people doesn't want to die. People, when you think about the death, people are afraid about it. And all they think about is, as long as I'm living here, let me live a life of king size, happy life. I'm going to tell just to make a thing a little more lighter, I'm going to tell one story. The story is about a man who was just running away, was going in the forest, and he was running away. He was going in the forest, and then as he was going in the forest, he was being chased by some tiger, by a tiger. And then he was just thinking about what to do, and he was just running and running and running. And as he was running, he just fell off into a dark well. He didn't notice. He didn't notice. He fell into a dark well. It was a deep well, and as he was falling, somehow or the other he saw a branch, and he caught hold of the branch. He was hanging on the branch, and up you see there was a tiger waiting for him, right? And down you see there was a big anaconda with his mouth wide open, right? Interesting scenario. So up he goes, tiger going to eat. Down he goes, waiting a big anaconda, snake, is going to swallow him. Interesting thing, you don't know what to do. At that time, there were some white rats and black rats. They were eating of the branch, right? Top tiger, bottom anaconda, he's hanging on the branch, and the rats are eating the branches. You know what's going to happen very soon. At that time, he was just in a panic situation, don't know what to do. As he was raising his up, see what is someone there to help. As he was seeing, from somewhere on the there was a tree. Somewhere on the tree there was a honeycomb, and a drop of honey fell on his mouth. Tongue. Second drop, tongue. It dropped, and he saw, wow, so tasty, so nice. And he again raised to open his mouth to get some more drops. You know what's going on with you? Come on, buddy. You know what's happening to you now? You're enjoying the honey here, but then there is a tiger, there is a snake, and the rats are eating the branch, and you're enjoying this particular honey. And that's exactly the situation of every one of us. The man who is hanging on the branch is none other than each one of us. Right? Mahabharatam says this particular story. Vidura says this story. So every one of us are not understanding that, oh, we are, anytime, anything could happen in our life. But lest we focus on what really need to be focused, rather we are so much entangled and engaged in other activities, lest we think of what's coming on our way behind us. Right? Anything can wait. What cannot wait is the time. We cannot get the time back. Time cannot be. How many of us think, if at all I had a 10 years back now, I would have done my life better. Better in what? Better house, better car, better money, better lifestyle. No, that's not what we are supposed to do. Because every time we think we could have done better, that thought is not going to go from us. So what is it really we're supposed to do? And this is why the death topic is so very important. The topic of death. The death, there's a good news also. Death is not end of it, by the way. We should not be panicking. If I die, everything is done, everything is gone. Therefore, life is one time. Let me make the best use of my life. That is a wrong understanding as per Bhagavad Gita, as Krishna says. What is death? Let's see what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani granati naro aparani. Krishna says, beautifully, he says that like how all of us are changing our dress. We change our dress every day. When we go home, we change it to night dress and go to bed. Morning, we change from night dress to whatever the dress and go to work or do whatever we do. Like that, we change our dress. Even if you are very much attached to a particular jeans pant, you don't want to change, right? When it becomes worn out, when it gets faded, naturally you're going to change it. You will change it, right? Likewise, when the body becomes useless, cannot function any further, then body changes. We change the dress. Likewise, when the body becomes old, it cannot function any further. The person who is staying within the body changes to another body. And leaving of that particular body, which is of use, no use, is termed as death. When you take another body, another dress, it's called Janmam. Janma. So that is called death and that is called birth. Simply changing of the body, changing of body is called death and birth. And how we go through changes within this body. All of us who are here, one point of time we were a baby. And then from baby to child, child to boyhood, boyhood to youth, youth to a young man to a middle-aged man, middle-aged man to an old man. We've been changing body constantly, continuously. What has not been changed within our body, and which is what we are all. That is called Atma. That is called Atma. Atma in Sanskrit language. In English, called soul. Right? Atma. Atma never changes. Atma is always same. What is changing is body. That which constantly changes is called matter. That which never changes is called spirit. Okay? So now spirit never goes through changes. For Atma, there is no age. There is no old age. Atma is not called female Atma, male Atma. There is gender free, by the way. Atma doesn't have hunger, thirst, worries, distress. None of these things are there. Atma is supposed to be always happy. But the problem is, because the Atma has taken birth into this body, the Atma starts thinking, I am male, I am Indian, I am American, I am fair, I am dark. That is the message of Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter. From the second chapter, Krishna gives this information to Arjuna and to all of us, saying that please come out of this bodily idea. As long as you identify yourself with body, guess what? You're going to be in problem. Everyone will have problems. We have to start thinking more about Atma and only provide as much as needed for the Sharira, which is called body. What is needed to body? That need to be provided, because when we're having a car is used for, what's the purpose of car? To go to a destination. Therefore, you need to maintain the car well. Do a oil change, a tire rotations, and whatever you need to do, we need to do the best on the right time to the car, so that the car can be a tool for us to travel wherever we want to go. Likewise, the body is a car. The passenger is Atma. We are all the Atmas, passengers. Therefore, we have to maintain the body as much as is needed. But we are not the body. We are not the car. Once you park the car in the garage, you are not going to stay the entire time inside the car. You change from car, come into the house. Again, is the house I am? No. I'm a resident in the house. Likewise, the body is just an apartment or a house or a car. We temporarily stay here and make use of the best use of the body in the way towards our next topic, called at the time of death, where are we going to go? Right? Next topic, we are getting into the third one. First is what is death, and second one is what happens at the time of death, is what we are discussing now. What happens at the time of death is when a person is going to leave the body. Please pay attention, because this is all, no one can say this topic is not for me. Right? You can say a computer is not for you, and someone may say medicine is not for me, someone may say finance is not for me, and no one can say this topic we are discussing now is not for me. Everyone must know this topic, this subject matter. Yes? That's an important topic that you are going to experience one day. So what happens at the time of death? Because the person who is going through death is not going to speak up and tell what's happening. Right? Mostly. Right? So the person may not even able to say, but the Shastra says, the scriptures says, what happens at the time of death? When a person is ready to depart from the body. When a person is ready to depart from the body, what happens is, I'm going to use some terminologies, but I'll explain in English also. There's something called Jnanendriya, something called Karmendriya. There are 5 senses to acquire knowledge. What are the 5 senses? Eyes. Through eyes I can see people are sitting here. That gives me some knowledge. There are people sitting here. There are, whatever it is, knowledge, right? And this is a house. Through eyes I can sense and get some knowledge. Through eyes. What are the other ways that we can get knowledge? Through ears. Karnendriya, through ears. Someone speaks and someone tells some information. Hey, don't go there. There is a pit over there. Okay, I won't go there, sir. Right? Someone is giving. This is called Apple. This is called laptop. This is called camera. This is called mic. I hear through the ears. So knowledge comes through ear. So eyes, ears. Looks like after this program there's a nice food available. Sense of smell, right? Sense of smell. And sense of taste. When I'm eating gulab jamun, I don't say after eating gulab jamun, Karela is so nice. There is some problem, you have to go to doctor. Your sense of taste buds are gone, right? So sense, I get knowledge of the senses by through my tongue. And by touch, even if someone is blind, someone is saying, touching like this. This looks like a mic, right? Touch sense. So, Jnanendriya, 5 Jnanendriya, 5 Karmendriya. Karmendriya or the that working senses. Hands, legs, mouth, and for us to evacuate, passing of urine, going to toilet, things like that. These are 5 Karmendriyas. What happens is this, that Jnanendriya and Karmendriya unite with Manas. Manas is called mind. At the time of death, this is, no one tells this, but scriptures tells this. What happens? A person is ready to die. This is what happens. The Indriyas all gets united with the mind. Mind is a media between the Atma and the external world. It's a media interface. In the software, there's an interface, right? If anyone is into software field here, yeah, no, there's always an interface, right? There's an interface which converts and translates a language into a language that the other end can understand. And likewise, the Atma, and there is a mind and the senses. The senses looks everything like this and passes to the mind, and mind translates the information back to the Atma. That's how the whole thing works. Now what happens? The Jnanendriya and Karmendriya unites with the mind. The mind then unites with something called prana. Prana means the life force or the vayu. Prana. This is called prana. So the Indriyas unites with mind, and the mind unites with the prana vayu, and the prana vayu then unites with the Atma. And Atma then unites with the Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. It merges or unites with that. This is what takes place at the time of death. At the time of death. Sometimes you see that some person is unconscious, even though the person cannot smell, cannot speak, cannot see, is in a state of, say, coma or whatever, but the mind is still working that person. For that person, the mind is working still. Everything runs through his mind, and the mind also shuts off. Mind also shuts off, doesn't think, and you can still see some breathing is going on. Some life is there, the touch, something is there, still there. The prana is still there, and the prana is also stops. At that point of time, the Atma is ready to depart the body. Depart the body. Now, how does the Atma depart? When I came into this house, I came through the main door. Whatever the door, I don't know, this could be the main door. Whatever the door, I came through a door. And the house could have multiple doors. Dwara means doors. There could be a side door, there could be a main door, there could be a basement, there could be a walkout door. Garage could be another option, right? There are different doors to exit and enter and exit. Likewise, for Atma to exit, this is science. Those who are into medical field, some information for you. There are 70, this is according to the scriptures. Okay. There are 72,000 veins are in our body. 72,000 veins are in our body. When the Atma is ready to depart, it can choose any of these veins to exit the body. Any of these veins to exit the body. Number one, remember this one. Number two, besides the 72,000, there are 100 another veins. This is all coming from the heart. Okay, every veins are connected to the heart, by the way. Okay, so there are 100 veins. That is the second option through which the Atma can exit. And there is a one particular vein, nadi, right? One particular nadi which Atma can exit. These are the three ways it can exit. Okay, now coming back to the first one, 72,000. If the Atma exists to any of the 72,000 veins, it goes to a patana called Naraka Patana. Naraka Patana means a place of hell. Right? Hell is why you usually go, hell? Because if you have done some papa means sins, you've been transferred to the place called Narakam. There you go, and you get paid for the sins that we perform in the earth over there. Will be punished in the hell. Now, what are the second option? 100 nadis, right? 100 nadis. This is what the topic of Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, Krishna speaks about there are two paths by which the Atma can exit. Dhumadi marga, Archaradi marga. Marga means path. Marg means path. Like you must have heard the marg, right? In India also they might have this marg, street. Gandhi marg or this marg or that marg, whatever. Like that. Marg means path or road to go. Dhumadi marga, Archaradi marga. Dhumadi marga, 100 nadis are there through which we can go to Dhumadi marga. And that takes us to a higher planetary system. Chandraloka, Pitraloka, Swargaloka, all these lokas. Loka means planet. Different planets. We will go to that planet. If you have done punya karya, means good deeds in life, that person will go through this nadi and go to heavenly planet. Number 2. Now coming to the third nadi. This nadi is a very specific nadi, special nadi called Sushumna nadi. What is it? Sushumna nadi, very particular, very special nadi. And the person who enters and travels through the Sushumna nadi takes a path, Archaradi marga. Archaradi means light, a path of light. The difference between the other two and this one is that this one is one-way ticket. The other two are two-way tickets. We purchase a ticket to go to any part of the world, India, China, or Hawaii, or wherever you want to go. You pay a two-way ticket. The option is given, right, when you're booking your ticket, two-way or one-way. Right? You want to come back, two-way ticket. You don't want to come back, you are going to go there and settle down, that's one-way ticket. Sushumna nadi, those who pick up that Sushumna nadi, they go to the place where they don't need to return back again into this world. And guess what is that term called, which is quite... Bliss. Moksha. Moksha. Once you attain moksha, then it comes, what you get over there is called bliss. Bliss means anandam. Anandam. Right? So bliss. Whereas you go to heaven, you go to hell, once your credit point is over, you got to come back again. Again, we have to take birth here in this world. So that is a topic where what happens, we saw what is death, what happens at the time of death, we saw that, and then we saw how Atma exits and where it goes. Correct? Are you all clear with me? 3 topics are over. And the fourth one is when we go, what we take with us and go. That handbag, cell phone, and more. There's a lot more. I'll tell one story. There was one king who was very much so busy doing his business, very much attached to his kingdom, his possession, his children, his family, and hardly working of making money. All that time want to conquer the other neighbor's kingdom, and expand his kingdom and increase his wealth. He was so busy doing this. So one sage came, a saint came, and he said, "You're so busy doing everything, but why don't you focus on something, sitting and hearing about Bhagavad Gita, read something about spirituality, do some bhakti?" And that person said, "Well, I will do that when I get time. I will do that when I get time." Right? Now you tell me, is anyone here not busy? Every one of us are super busy. So question is, when are we going to get that time to read Bhagavad Gita and do some bhakti? When are we going to get? Because when we were student, we were busy preparing for SAT exam, whatever exam you call, right? And then after that, you're working hard. I have so many our friends' children. I'm in contact with them in college. They have no time to even eat. They microwave it, eat. Sometimes they forget to eat. Sometimes they take this shots of energy drink so that they can stay night and prepare for assignments and projects and things like that. No time at all. Kids are like that. Why? They want to get good grades so that they can get good job. Okay, you got a job. You have time now? No, you want to prove yourself you're outstanding candidate, that they pick the right person. So you work so hard. No time. Get married. Definitely no time. At least for 1 or 2 years. After that, no time because you have to take care of the children. After children grow, let the children grow up and then I'll have some time. Well, after that, you started planning about your retirement, investment. No time. Now you have time? No, my son have to get married first. My daughter has to get married. Okay, they got married. Are you having time? Grandchildren. I have to take care. If I don't take care of my grandchildren, who's going to take care of the grandchildren? Grandchildren. Life goes on very busy. Every single part of our life is going to be busy. But we cannot find excuses. We have to find somehow in the busy schedule, somehow the other, we do have to find some time. We definitely have to cut out some time to understand what is life, what Bhagavad Gita teaches us, what are we going to do, how to do bhakti. We have to do these things. We definitely have to take part and do all. So this sage was coming and tell, so you don't have time? King said, I have no time, sir. Okay, he gave a stick in his hand. The sage gave, have the stick. Find a most foolish person in your kingdom and hand over the stick to that person. Employ him, give him salary. All right? So he said, that's all I have to do? Yeah, just do that one. That's enough. And then the sage went, and the king sent his ministers and soldiers to find who's this foolish guy in his in his country. Then they went around and they saw one man was doing some crazy thing, another man was. They were trying to find who's the craziest man, foolish man. They couldn't find anyone. And then finally they found one man who was doing nothing. Right? He was just doing some crazy thing which no intelligence at all. I'm keeping the story short. I want to get to the message here. They understood that this man is the most foolish person. So they brought him. The king wants to meet you. Please come. And the man also came. The king said, I'm going to employ you. And this man asked, what is my job? Hold on to the stick and just roam around the country. That's all you have to do. Monthly you will get paid. And then what should I do with the stick? Well, when you become old, then find a foolish person than you, more foolish than you, and hand over the stick to that person. That's all he said. Okay, days passed, years passed. A day came where that king was on his deathbed. So he called all his ministers, gave them gifts, awarded them, rewarded them, and took care of them very nicely. And suddenly he remembered, I took care of everyone, but I did not meet that fool number one. I also want to meet him. So call him. Although the minister went and called him. The foolish man came with the fool number one, whatever this name is. He came with the stick. He said that, my dear boy, you did a good job so far, and I want to give you some reward. Take this gold coins, and remember what I told you. Find a foolish person than you and hand over the stick to that person. And the man was asking, my dear king, can we go and have some dinner together? He acted, he was foolish. He was fool. He doesn't know what's going on. The king is going to die. He said, come on, king, let's go and play some chess. What? I'm going to die. Oh, you cannot play chess? No, why don't we go for a ride with your horse, your favorite horse? Man, I'm going to die. I cannot get up from this bed. My favorite horse, yes, I love my horse, but I cannot go with my horse. What about going and eating with your family members, your wife and children? Let's sit and eat. I can't even drink water. Nothing goes inside my mouth. You can see the tubes going in my nose, and all these things are stuck into the things are stuck into my body. Don't you see this? I can't take anything to eat. What about your chariot, the golden chariot? Can you ride on that? He said, no. So you cannot go for a ride in a horse, chariot, you can't have dinner, you can't. What about your special kiritam, the crown that you have? Can you at least take that with you? Where are you going? I'm going to die. Die? You're going to die? Yes, I'm going to die. What does death means? Well, come to Anu's house, rewind the whole class, and you will know what death means. Right? So death means we are going to leave the body. I'm going to leave this body and go. Oh, you're going to leave the body? Yes. What happens after that? Hey, I'm not going to come back. You're not going to come back here? No, I'm not going to come back. So what are you going to take with you? He's really foolish guy. It's just, I'm getting angry. Why is he talking like this? You can't take anything, your horse, your chariot, your children cannot come with you, your favorite cell phone cannot come with you, your latest and greatest phone, that iPhone latest version cannot come with you. No. What about your wristwatch? I cannot take anything. You cannot do anything? No. Then the man said, the king said, don't make me angry. Just do what I told you. Find a foolish person than you and hand over the stick to him. At that point of time, that man handed over the stick to the king. And the king got wild, really raged with anger. He said, what do you mean by this? You're telling I'm foolish than you? The man said, yes. You walked all through your life where you cannot even take a needle with you. That is what you spent your entire life, where you cannot take anything with you. So who can be more foolish than you? So you are the fool. At that point of time, the sage who met the first time, he came and he told, this man is not fool, he is my disciple. I want to teach you a lesson, at least at this point of time, when you depart this body. Therefore, what travels with us? What travels are few things. The prana travels with us. Our indriyas travels with us. Our vasanas mean the impression, certain impression that we keep in a memory, which gets stored, that travels with us. And our karma, whatever the good and bad that we did, that travels with us. It's not that we came empty-handed, we go empty-handed. That's not what Gita says. We brought something with us, and we go with something that we cannot see. The prana, the indriyas, the vasanas, the karmas, all travels with us. Okay, where does it travel? Well, it either go to the hell, it go to the heaven, or it attains moksha. Yes, these are the three things we saw. Well, what happens for those who attain moksha? They never have to come back again. They be in the spiritual world called Vaikuntham, right? This place is called Dukkhalayam. This place where what we call as misery is misery, right? Next to misery is Illinois, Illinois. We are surrounded by miseries and ills, right? So here, when we go to the spiritual world, we don't have to come back again into this world. But when we go to the Swargaloka, when we go to the heavenly planet, or when we go to the hellish planet, we have to come back again into this world. We take birth again. How does it happen? This is a process. When we are in this hell or heaven, after our credit point, this is told in Chandogya Upanishad. I'm keeping it all in simple terms without quoting all the slokas here. So the point here is that once our credit points are drained, exhausted, we will be thrown upside down from heaven, upside down. Now those who know, how does a natural birth takes place? Natural birth, when the baby is born, what comes out first? Normal birth, right? Head comes out. We are all thrown upside down, head down. and that Atma gets into the Meha means the cloud, enters to the cloud, entering into the cloud, number one. From the cloud, it comes through the rain, number two. Number three, it falls into the earth, right? Number three, it falls into the earth. Number four, it gets into the plant. And then what happens? A Purusha means a man eats the plants, grains for that matter. The Atma, which comes from the sky through the water, rains, and enters to the earth, enters to the plant as a food to the human, men, and from men, it gets transferred into the womb of the mother, get transferred, and the baby is born. This is how the birth takes place, the process. So we learned that one. We have spoken about death. We have spoken about what happens at the time of death, and we spoken about the different path of how the Atma exit and where it goes. And we spoke about what it takes when it travels to a place, different places, and what happens after it reaches the destination, that it falls down. So we have pretty much covered all the 6 topics. Okay. So we are coming to the end of the topic, which is called, the last one is, as a children, what are we supposed to do to our departed parents or forefathers, ancestors? What are we supposed to do? There is said that 3 things are very important. Jivato Vakya Karanat. First one is Jivato Vakya Karanat. And the next one, Pratabdhyam Bhuri Bhojanat. And then Gayanam Pinda Dhanat. These are the 3 things. What are the 3 things we need to do? That is, after the parents have passed away, every year one has to perform Shraddha on that particular Tithi, on particular date. Right? One has to perform on that Tithi a Shraddha ceremony every year. It is not an optional. Every year one has to perform. And another one is, at least in one lifetime of the children, lifetime, they have to go to Gaya. Go to Gaya and do Pindadana. Pindadana means they'll make a balls out of rice, cooked rice and sesame seeds. They combine these 2 and make a round balls. For mother, different number, father, different number. Those are our details. We're not going to get into those details here. But Pindadana has been given to forefathers. Okay. That has to be done at least once in a lifetime of a son, of a children. And the third one, Jivato Vakya Karanat. Jivato Vakya. This is all after death, right? After parents passed away, you have to do every year, you have to do Shraddha. Once in a lifetime, you have to go to Gaya. Because you go to Gaya does not mean you have to stop doing yearly ceremony. That has to continue every year. So these 2 things are after the death, right? But what are we supposed to do when the parents are alive? Jivato Vakya Karanat. This is what Shastra says. That means when the parents are alive, be an obedient children. Listen to their advices. Follow their instruction. This is what the Shastra says. 3 things we have to do. These things that we have to do. And then the whole purpose of, in Sanskrit, the children are called Putra and Putri. Putra, Putri. What does it Putra and Putri means? Put means hell. Put means hell. Hell. Naraka. Put means hell. Trayate means one who delivers. It's called Tra. Put, Tri, said together is called Putri Putra. That means one who delivers from a hellish condition is called Putra. If one doesn't deliver by following these 3 things, and more we are going to tell more information about. One who does not do this thing, that person is cannot be qualified to be a Putra or Putri. Putra or Putri is one who can deliver the departed parents from the hellish condition, are called Putra and Putri. This is an important thing. Otherwise, in this, not I am telling, the Shastras say they are called Mutras. Now you should know what Mutra means. Urine. Because Mutra and Putra comes from the same source. Right? Mutra and Putra came from the same source. From the male, it get pass to the mother, the wife, right? That's where the development, the body development takes. The Atma passes through the womb of the mother gives the body, but the Atma comes from the father. Where it comes from? The same source. If the putra doesn't behave like a putra, the Shastra says is simply mutra, urine, no use, no use. Therefore, what are we supposed to do? Srimad Bhagavatam says we are coming to the last part of the presentation. Srimad Bhagavatam says, you know the story of Prahlad. How many of you know the story of Bhakta Prahlad? A small 7-year-old boy who's been tortured by the father, whose father name is Mr. Hiranyakashipu. Very nice. It's Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu was killed by an avatar of Vishnu, whose name is Narasimha. Narasimha, right? Narasimha. Narasimha means the Lord took a form of half lion and half human. He came, we're not going to talk stories here, but beautiful story. He came and ripped apart. He ripped Hiranyakashipu and killed him. At the time, Prahlad came and offered his prayer. And at that point of time, the Lord spoke and said, because you are my devotee, Prahlad, because you are my devotee. The boy was asking, who was killed was his own father, right? And the Lord was asking, ask me for some boons. Last 5-10 minutes, we are finishing here. Please pay attention. This is the gist of the whole presentation. The Lord was asking, ask me for some boon. 7-year-old boy was asking, ask me for some boon. And the boy was, if God comes in front of us and he tells, I give you boons, ask for some boons, what are we going to ask? This is something that we can contemplate and do some exercise when we are alone by ourselves. Take a pen and, no one takes pen and paper now, take a pad, iPad. Pen means, what is pen? We forgot everything now. Note paper, writing, everything is gone. Everything is pad now. Right? Take a pad and do an exercise when you go back home. If God comes in front of me and tells, ask for a boon, what am I going to ask? Good exercise to think about. We may ask, well, if you're well-wisher of your family members, you say, let my family be healthy and wealthy and nice, right? You don't think about yourself, you want to think about your children, your spouse and your grandparents, parents, etc., etc., right? So there could be some people who will think about, let my society be good. I am from Andhra Pradesh, I am from Delhi, I am from Karnataka, I am from this place. Let my society be good, state be good, Missouri be good. Or you go think further down, let me country, my nation be good. Or maybe there could be more sages, they may think that let the world be good. We may ask any of these boons. But you know what Prahlad was asking to the Lord? My Lord, if I ask you for a boon, that means I'm making a business with you. I prayed all this time so that I want something from you. Therefore, I want a boon where I want one boon. That boon is that I should not ask for any boon from you. Come on. Right? Why? We must be saying, what a foolish boon is this? When God comes there, you make a use of an opportunity and ask for something. Well, here's the thing. When we pray to God, I don't want anything from you, but I want the bhakti of yours. I want to develop bhakti of yours. I want your love. I want to develop love towards you, my Lord. When we say this one, do you think that God is going to let us go just like that? Suffer? No. When we ask for love of Godhead, He is going to take care of us even materially and spiritually. That's the best prayer that we can pray. But here's the point. But the Lord was not satisfied with this ask. He said, ask me something more. Something more. And this boy asked, my father made a mistake without knowing who you are. Therefore, please forgive my father. Forgive my father. And the Lord smiled lovingly. And He said, this is also you don't need to ask. Why? Because you are devoted to me. Please hear this word. because you are devoted to me. 21 generations, 21 generation up and below, the past generation and the future generation that's up to come together, I will take care of them and deliver them. So that means what? If we dedicate our life to God, not only we, our family, our forefathers, our future generation to come, everyone will be saved. That's the best thing that we can all do to our children and to our forefathers. The best thing that we can do is we dedicate ourselves in service of God. When we dedicate ourselves in service of God, God is pleased and He will take care of our generation to be happy. So what all we covered? What is death? What happens at the time of death? Number 2. And then what are the means to get out of the body? Where do we go? And then what do we take with us when we go? And what happens after we go to the destination? We stay there forever or we come back down into this world? And then what is that we are supposed to do to our parents, departed parents, and for the future generations to come? Bhaktya tu ananya sakyaha ahameva vido Arjuna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, the only way that I will be pleased, Krishna says, the only way that I will be pleased, the only way that you can come to me is through the process of Bhaktya tu ananya sakyaha. Only through the process of bhakti. And you all must be telling, well, I am also doing bhakti. And the bhakti that Krishna is speaking is the bhakti of unalloyed devotion, not focusing towards the body, focusing towards the Atma, soul, towards the soul. What am I doing for my soul? I have been working throughout my life for my body and for my extended body, my children, etc. What am I doing for my soul? Because the day is catching up. For every one of us, day is catching up. Every day the sun sets, every day the sun rises, we are losing one day in our lifespan. Yes or no? Yes. Easy way to calculate our life. Every day morning we get up, we lost one day. That means what? In another sense, we are getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to that day to depart this body. Am I ready to leave this body? How do you say you are ready? Have we focused on Atma? If not, it's never the late. Any age, any time, we can start the process of self-realization, connecting ourselves, Atma to Paramatma, through process of bhakti. Easy way of doing is by chanting the name of God. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. In the age of Kali Yuga, the best way to remember God and connect to God is through the process of chanting the name of God. God's name is unlimited. Sahasranamam. Many thousands of names are there. So any name that you can pick up and start chanting every day, at least 10 minutes. The best thing that we can do is everyone together chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can chant 108 times every day, which makes one mala. So sit every day and chant the name of God. In this way, we are showing God that I am trying to connect with you. This is what we are supposed to do for the departed parents and for the future generations to come. Thank you for patiently hearing. And if you have any questions or anything, we can take a few questions. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't see the face here.
Right here.
Oh, Raghu, please. Yeah.
So when you do pass away, your soul, your atma, leaves. How long does it? Where does it? I mean, we know where it goes. How long does it stay in that? Does it stay in an animated state, or are you reborn into someone else's clothes, body? Or how long does it? Is it right away, immediately you're born as someone else, or what happens? And on top of that, you're talking to Hindus. What about the non-Hindus? Okay, that's the rest of the world?
Two questions. First question is, I'm going to take the second question first, and then the first question second, because the first question takes a little more time. The second question is, we are addressing all the Hindus here who knows about Atma, body, reincarnation, karma, guru, all those different things, right? What about non-Hindus? What about those who does not fall into this category? Whether you fall into this category or you don't fall into category doesn't matter. Not only Indians have Atma. Every living entity has Atma. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, everyone has Atma. That's the point. And we can even scientifically convey this message to those who doesn't fall into the Sanatana Dharma, Hindu religion. That could be a presentation by itself. But in short, the concept of theory of Atma applicable to everyone and anyone. Anyone. The reason that you can ask this question to trigger a thought to those people is that why we see so many differences in the world. Why one is born as a male, another one is born as a female. One is born as a dog, another one is born as a peacock. One is born as an intelligent, one is not. One becomes working, two people are working same job, one is rich, another one is poor. Even a baby who's not done anything, who's just taken birth, has cancer or tumor, some brain things, and sometimes the baby dies prematurely. What's the answer for all these things? What's the answer? We cannot answer without addressing a topic of karma. Unless and until we agree to the concept of theory of karma, good things gives good result, bad things give bad result, and this good thing and bad thing is not only from this life, it comes from the previous life. How do you say that? Otherwise you can't justify the differences in this world right from the birth. Right from the birth. Make sense? That's question answer to the second question. The first question is going to be a long one. I'm not going to get into the details because the details of what happens after the death, how long does it take to the Atma to take another body? Does it take another body immediately? How long is it going to take to travel to the hell or heaven, so forth? I'll give you a very glimpse of what it is because the details are there in the Purana called Garuda Puranam. Garuda Puranam speaks all about what happens after death. What journey we went through so fast today. You may not agree it's fast, but it is fast because the details are all skipped. Because the Atma leaves the body, it goes to different planets, different places, many places. And it depends on which path it takes, whether it takes a dark path or the light path. It takes different planets, it goes to different places, and what happens in different places. All the details are given. The small calculation I'll give you, our 1 year of human calculation is 1 day for people in the higher planet. Okay? 365 days for us is simply 1 day for the people, the Devatas, in the higher planet. Okay, that means 1 year ceremony that we are doing today, it took the Atma 365 days to go to the destination of that place, which is as per the calculation of the Devatas, it is just 1 day. Okay? And as you go higher and higher, the calculation changes. The details are there. Even in this 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives an idea about the calculation of lifetime of Brahma, Indra, Varuna, human life, and so forth. Okay? But that's what happens. Based on the karma, the Atma can immediately take another body in this world, or based on the sin or karma that is performed, it may go to the hell to suffer and come back and continue the other karmas, or it go to the heavenly planet, enjoy there and come back and continue the rest of the karmas, because karmas are two types, Sanchita karma and Prarabdha karma. What the Atma is going through now is only called Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means the checking account. Sanchita karma means savings account. We have a lot of karmas. So in short, it depends on the karma. Based on the karma, the Atma may take body, or Atma may not even take body. Without body, it may suffer for some period of time and then get another body. Or it may go to the hell, suffer, come back, without body suffer, and take another body. It all depends. It's not a cookie cutter, by the way. It's not every one of us is not going to go through the same program. So it all differs based on the degree of karma.
So when you come back,
Yes.
whether from heaven or hell, or whatever time periods are, in the process of reincarnation,
Yes.
what do you come back as?
What do you come back as?
Yeah, do you come back as an Indian, a Chinese? What do you come back as? I mean, do you come back as a dog? Do you come back as a rat?
Yeah. Yeah, simple. I'll tell you one. No, the questions are beautiful questions. I'll tell one small story from Mahabharata. Bhishma Deva was lying down on the bed of arrows. Now, there was a question Dhritarashtra was asking. Dhritarashtra was asking, you see, I was blind by birth. All my 100 sons were killed brutally. Right? What sin did I perform? As far as I know, I have not committed any sins. Dhritarashtra was saying this, but he's another character by himself. But any person who makes mistakes always think they have never done mistake. Dhritarashtra was in that category. I was so pious. I always went to the temple, gave donation, and did everything. But on the side, he was doing other things also, right? But anyway, he was asking Krishna, what did I do this one? Why should I be punished like this? So Krishna said, my dear uncle, my dear sir, 100 lifetimes back. How many lifetimes back? Not 100 years back. 100 lifetimes back. You know you understand what lifetimes back means, right? Birth, death, 1. Second, birth, death, 2. Like that 100 times. 100 lifetimes back, you were a son of a hunter. You were son of a hunter. That time, what you did, you climbed the tree, and then on the top of the tree there was a bird's nest. And the bird just hatched 100 baby birds. 100 baby birds. What you did was you went there and pierced the eyes of the mother bird. You pierced the eyes of the mother bird. And you killed the birds, baby birds. Okay. And Dhritarashtra asked a beautiful question. Excuse me? This happened 100 lifetimes back? And Krishna said, yes. Why am I suffering now? If I do mistake, if I go and slap someone, hit someone, I'm not going to wait. Police is not going to wait for my next lifetime to punish me. Hey, come on. You slapped him, come to jail. Right? Why you waited for 100 lifetimes? Why you waited for 100 lifetimes? Krishna smiled and said, for one to get one son, one must do a lot of pious activities. To get us children, it is not just by fluke. One has to do a lot of good activities, good karma, to get one son. You got to get 100 sons. It took 100 lifetime for you to get 100 sons. Therefore, in this lifetime, you got 100 sons. But you also did other thing. What? Pierce the eyes of the bird. That is what you're suffering now. So the point here is, whether we will be born as a Chinese or American or dog or a bird or a worm in the stool, it all depends on the karma that we perform. Not just immediate karma, it could be from any lifetime of karma that we have to suffer. The mills of God grinds slowly, but extremely fine. This is a statement. Right? We may get excused and escape from the mistake in this lifetime, but everything is accounted in the books of God. If not this lifetime, we have to pay for it at one point of time. God will not forget our mistakes. God will also forget our good deeds, by the way. He will give both. But it depends on the severity of the karma. it takes time. We may be born as a dog, we may be born as a human, we may be born as a whatever it may be. It all depends on the karma that we perform, the body that we take. But the point is this: if you have gotten a human body, durulabam manushya dhanmam means it is rare to get human body. If you have gotten human body, definitely we have done some good things. Some good things. Because it's only in the human body we will be able to discriminate good and bad. No other species of that you can think about can discriminate. Oh, they are having a class here, we should not bark. They are talking something Bhagavad Gita about it. Let's not talk any. We sit and quietly here, so we can also get punya. And next time, by hearing Bhagavad Gita topic today, next lifetime at least I will get a human body. That dogs were not thinking about it, because that intelligence is not the, they have intelligence, by the way, but their intelligence is way less to the human intelligence, right? They have a different intelligence. They have they can smell things, they can, all those different good things are there, right? But the human have the topmost intelligence compared to all the species. Why God has given this intelligence to us? For one reason: understand that you are Atma, you are not this body, there is Paramatma. The purpose of you having this body is to connect the Jiva Atma with Paramatma to the process of bhakti and come back to me, so that you don't need to come back again, work hard to do all this thing and suffer. You don't need to do that. You can be in Anandam, complete bliss, when you come to Vaikuntha. This is what the message for all of us from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that very clearly. Make sense?
Makes sense. One more question I'm gonna ask you, and then I'll open up to other people. In Christianity, they consider everybody's born a sinner.
Yes.
In Hinduism, is that the case?
Yes. Now, this is
I mean,
not.
you don't need to go into it, but because I've always understood we're not born sinners. But everywhere in Christianity, anything, they always say everyone's a sinner.
Well, there is some truth in what Christianity says also, but how they say the source is different and what our source is different. In Christianity, the sin that we are going through is because of some couple did something, and that has been cascaded down to the future generation. That is how the sins, that's why we are all born. We are born and we are suffering because of the couple who made mistake. You know the history of Christianity. I'm not getting into those things. That's not what the topic today. So that sin is getting passed on to everyone. That's the message. But in Sanatana Dharma, that's not the case. There is some truth to it, but that's not the case. Every one of us are suffering because of our own karma. Because of our own karma, we have taken birth. That is why we are suffering. But there is some truth to it. What the truth is that, like how my father passed away, I inherit his wealth. Right? I inherit his wealth. Likewise, there are some things that good and bad that my parents have done. Something will be inherited to the children. Something, not everything, by the way. Something will be inherited to the children. Therefore, it's very important that a parent should be very careful in what they do. If they're not doing good, at least don't do bad, because that may come to the children also to some point. Not everything again. This topic is very touchy topic and very difficult to get into the details. Some part of it get transferred also, like wealth gets transferred. Some of these get transferred also, right? So this is a point to answer your question. And there are few more details to other karmas come from other sources also. I think we'll stop that part. We also inherit karma from other sources, but that's not the topic for today. Yes.
Just a question you mentioned about Garud Puran, and you talked about Mahabharata. The basic thing that Dhritarashtra was jealousy, and he always thought that he was deprived of opportunity. But then when you go to Garud Puran, you see Kandu, Vinata, there was jealousy. And that basically transformed into what Garud has to go through. So what I'm saying is, if we suffer something, then we should be responsible. Inheritance is there, but how can? Garud was born as a slave. So how do we explain that, karma of parents being pushed to the kids?
That is why I was just trying to tell that we have no power to push our karma to anyone. What happens is that because of some bad things that the parents must have done, like the wealth are inherited, a certain part of it, only certain part of it may get impacted to the children. That's all. It is not that the entire karma is get transferred to the, like how the entire wealth get transferred to the children. That's not the case with this karma topic. This is for us to understand how as a parent should behave and be in life. Because everyone loves their children. So they at least they don't want anything bad to be given to their children. Therefore, their behavior should be in such a way that their lifestyle does not impact their children in some way. Because what happens is that if someone is suffering because of the parent's mistake, the person who suffered may curse that person, saying that let this person generation suffer because I am suffering. So that curse may have some impact. That's the point here. Because of her bad deeds, someone is suffering. Because someone is suffering, that suffering indirectly affects the family. That's the point here. Not that directly I make a mistake, my son will get punished for my mistake. It's not in that sense, if it makes sense. Okay?
So we're safe.
Let me finish. What is it?
We're safe. If we're doing bad things, our children won't suffer. The next generation might suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it okay? You
Yeah.
I'd like to say it differently. Even in Christianity, you have the sins of the fathers are visited upon the children. Now, take it as science.
Yes.
Though the genes of the parents being inherited by the children.
Yeah.
So that is how, the sins are also passed on genetically.
karma is not genetic though. Karma is not karma.
Genetic.
Yeah, I understand your point. Understand point. Yeah, but then the point again is, genetically even though we may have certain things, we are not identical to our parents, right? That difference is there. Likewise,
There is a balance sheet up there. You want to be on the good side more than the bad side.
yeah. See, that's good. So the point here is that even though we carry on some genetic things, we are not identical to our parents in everything that we do, the behavior and everything. Some things are that. Likewise, my point of trying to tell is karma is getting transferred is not the entire karma. The entire karma gets transferred to the children. The father can do anything nonsense, whatever he wants, and just be happy. Right? He can do anything. That's not the case. That's not the case. It's unpleasant things that cause due to the bad actions of the parents may get a reaction to the children to some extent. That's all it is. The children does not become the cause, because the cause and effect should be on the same. I'll close this with this one. This is science. The cause and effect should be from the same person. If I am hungry, Ashokji cannot eat food. Right? If I am hungry, if he eats, how is it going to help me? I am hungry. I should eat. So cause and effect. If I am having headache, I should take pills, tablets. Right? So if I have done something, I am the one who has to suffer. Period. Okay? Cause and effect theory. With that said, thank you all very much for a wonderful discussions and questions. And thanks for having us. And this is exactly what, as a children, children we are supposed to do. And inviting the well-wishers to the house on this particular day, because we need well-wishers like you all present here on this day, remembering late Sri Premanandji and praying for him. And the best thing that we are doing at this point is speaking from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. This is exactly what we are supposed to do, and the best puja that we can do for the departed souls in the house. So thank you all very much for coming and hearing patiently. Please offer your prayers for late Premanji. And also at this point of time, I'm going to hand it over to Anuji, and the next program is very important on this day to show our gratitude and our relationships and our interaction with those who are been part of in our life and who passed away. So I'm going to invite the grandchildren of Premanji to speak few words, and everyone else, whoever knows him, can also participate and speak. This is a nice way of showing our affection and connection to them. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
I think Anupam is going to start first.
Yes, you can use the mic so everyone can speak. Everyone can hear you clearly.
I think this picture is fitting of what Nana was to us and kind of how. Oh, can I just hold it?
You can